kasama po ako ni Chief Justice Sereno nag-apply. Nung nag-apply po kami, pinasubmit kami ng 10 taon SALN.
Okay.
We were asked by the JBC to submit SALN ho namin 10 years before we applied. So,
okay.
2010 po yun. Dapat may SALN po from 2002 up to 2011.
With due respect,
that was
Justice,
that was a requirement
the question is answerable, yes or no?
Yes,
Thank you.
yes, and
the second question is, at the time you had been a member of the Supreme Court for about 5 years, correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
You were appointed in 2007 and had been a justice of the Sandigan for several years before that.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. How then? However, then as you said, Justice Sereno was the most junior member of the Supreme Court at the time, and was only a member of the High Court for only 2 years. That is correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Your Honor.
Now, let me ask this question. How did you feel about the appointment of Justice Sereno at the time? One question. Were you disappointed?
Point of order. Point of order.
What is the point of order, Your Honor?
Sir, we have here an unprecedented appearance of a Justice of the Supreme Court. I enjoin and appeal to everybody to give her the respect owing to the office.
That's precisely
Now,
I gave the
sir,
initial.
you're asking the Justice, how did you feel when this is not relevant to the proceedings, sir. Whatever he felt,
it has something to do with the question posed by everyone. Was there bias?
May I answer the question?
I believe she's...
Your Honor, matagal na po akong justice. 20 taon na po. Wala pong karapatan ang isang tao na maging justice kung affected ng emotions. Yaan ho ang isang bagay na hindi ko pinaiiral sa akin. Kasi ho, kung ganyan ako, na puro emosyon at puro feelings, dapat ho umalis ako sa husgado. Kaya ho, itong pag-appoint ni Chief Justice Sereno, ano po magagawa ko? The President appointed her. She was nominated by the JBC. What should I do? Kaya ho, siguro, ang dapat ho, tignan ninyo yung aking mga ginawa kung merong basihan. Pag wala hong basihan, doon ho ninyo sabihin na ito ang aking mga ginagawa ay dahil lang sa aking emotion. Yun po siguro, ay kaya nga ho, ready ako, nandito lahat ng mga dokumento para ipakita at ipaliwanag bakit ko ginawa ang mga ginawa ko. I cannot stand idly by when the power of the Supreme Court, the collegial authority of the Supreme Court under the Constitution is being undermined. And when our decisions reached by the collective wisdom of the justices of the Supreme Court are being set aside or changed, I should speak up. What kind of justice am I if I just accept what is happening that is not in accordance with the Constitution and the law? So I think what you should do.
You're not.
Please contain your emotions. Sabi nga po ni Justice
all kinds of lies, threats, harassment, and bullying have been thrown my way, but I will not yield.
I'm sorry that the Chief Justice has taken this opportunity to discuss a matter which is sub judice. We have given her all the courtesy, and I sincerely hope that she should not have dealt with a matter which is pending with the court.
Sinabi ko na kay Chief Justice Reno, I am not into the habit of mag-abog ng kalaban. Ikaw, Sereno, sinabi ko na sa iyo, hindi ako nakialam. If you are insisting, then I count me in. Count me in and I will egg Kalida to do his best. Ako na mismo maglakad rin, kalaban sa iyo. Sinasabi ko na sa iyo na hindi ako nakikialam. Now, sige ka niyan, daldal ng daldal, o sige, upakan kita. I will help the investigator. Talagang upakan kita. So, I'm putting you on notice that I am now your enemy. And you have to be out of the Supreme Court. I will see to it that after that then I'll request the Congress.
Walang justisya, patay na ang demokrasya. Diktadura ang maglalaba ang magwawagi at manguna ng isa bansa kumanal ang kawaran petition at patay na ang judicial independence.
Chief, it is time to let go. Please let the judiciary move on. Mabuhay ang ating judikatura! Mabuhay! Ang Korte Suprema! Mabuhay!
The Supreme Court unbound during its session today rendered judgment in GR number 237428, Republic of the Philippines, represented by the Solicitor General versus Maria Lourdes P.A. Sereno. Quote, wherefore, the petition for quo warranto is granted. Respondent Maria Lourdes P.A. Sereno is found disqualified from and is hereby adjudged guilty of unlawfully holding and exercising the office of the Chief Justice. Accordingly, Respondent Maria Lourdes P.A. Sereno is ousted and excluded therefrom. The position of the Chief Justice is declared vacant, and the Judicial and Bar Council is directed to commence the application and nomination process. This decision is immediately executory without need of further action from the court.
Castro and Supreme Court Associate Justice May I request Justice Castro and Justice Veronica to stay in the holding room while the interview for Justice Bersamin is being conducted.
Kindly administer the oath, please. Attorney Aricheta.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Candidates, please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth in this panel interview by the Judicial and Bar Council? So help you God.
Mida Cayoso, Attorney Cayoso, will you please, Cayoso?
Thank you, Senator Gordon. Good morning, Justice Castro.
Good morning.
You have definitely impressive credentials and extensive experience that would be helpful should you be nominated and appointed as Chief Justice. However, you will only be able to serve about 2 months.
Yes, sure.
About even less than that, no? Because you are expected to retire because you will reach the mandatory age of retirement on October 8th of this year. What can you realistically accomplish in less than 2 months that will make a lasting difference in the Supreme Court and improve the administration of justice in our country?
Your Honor, it is not as if that I will start today. I've been working on judicial reform projects since 2009. I was appointed in 2007, and
there were a series of, or a succession of retirement of the senior justices, and in 2 years' time, I was the 7th senior justice in the court, and because of that, I had to assume numerous responsibilities, one of which is the chairmanship of the Management Committee on Judicial Reform Support Projects. This designation began during the time of Justice Reynato Puno. And I had a chance to coordinate the efficient implementation of the Judicial Reform Support Project. During the time of Chief Justice Puno and Chief Justice Corona, who also maintained my chairmanship in the Management Committee, I was able to accomplish a number of projects. And there were continuing ones during the time that the term of Justice Corona ended. And this pertained to the computerization of the many of the functions of the judiciary. As early as 2009, I was able to present to the Court and Bank the approval of the Enterprise Information System Plan, which was developed by a consulting firm, the Indra, which was paid out of the World Bank loan proceeds. And this Enterprise Information System Plan was to be implemented in a period of several years. So at the time that I was the chair of that committee, there were 3 important projects in the pipeline. The first one is the Judiciary Case Management System. And this case management system would, if developed, will be able to record and monitor the progress of cases from the time it is filed in the trial court until it reaches the appellate court and finally decided by the Supreme Court. So this is a tracking system where you can easily find the progress of a case. So that was already slated to be implemented. And before I was removed as chair of the Committee on Computerization after Chief Justice Corona's term ended, we already had in place the terms of reference for the hiring of the consultant for the JCMS. This is the Judiciary Case Management System, which is very important to improve the workings, the operation of the judiciary. And then there's another project. The other project is the Enterprise Resource Planning System. This will cover the financial system, the administrative system, the accounting, auditing, the attendance and leaves of personnel and other numerous administrative matters, which is also due for development, initially by the hiring of a specialized consultant that will study and develop this ERP, the Enterprise Resource Planning System. So when I was replaced as chair of the Committee on Computerization and Library, there are already terms of reference prepared, ready and this is for the bidding out of this consultancy services, but it was stopped. And so if I'm fortunate to be appointed Chief Justice, all I need to do is to revive this project together with the Case Management Information System for the Supreme Court, which was also stopped when I was removed from the chairmanship of the committee. So the terms of reference for the hiring of the 3 consultants for these projects are already in place. All that we need to do is to update these terms of reference, and I've talked with the staff of the Management Information Systems Office,
And I was told that we need only 2 to 3 weeks to be able to update these terms of reference. So as soon if I am appointed, that is the first thing that I will do, to update these 3 terms of reference for these 3 important projects which were cancelled, in order that the court may approve this the revival of these projects. And once these are approved, we can already put this information communication technology in place, and it will gain its momentum with the court's approval. It may take years to be able to complete them, but at least if the court is able to approve the work plan, the timeline, and the resources needed for these 3 projects, then these projects will continue even after I have already retired from the service. Now, there are also other projects which I have started as chairperson of several committees. The Committee on Gender Responsiveness in the Judiciary, the Committee on Family Courts and Juvenile Concerns, and through the years, we have already started working on several projects. Not only training of judges, justices, and court personnel to become gender responsive and sensitive, but also, most importantly, our work in the organization of the regular family courts. As you all know, regular family courts were created in 1997. But from 1997 up to the time that I was appointed chair of the Committee on Family Courts and Juvenile Concern, no family court was ever organized. And so what the Supreme Court had to do was to designate regional trial courts as family courts. And because of that, we took away from the exercise of general jurisdiction over cases many family courts, many regional trial courts. There are about 120 of them. But through our efforts, I'm referring to the efforts of the committee, we were able to submit a plan to the Court and Bank, which the Court and Bank approved, and that is the organization of family courts in 4 tranches. Because I believe that the government cannot fund the organization of family courts nationwide. So I said we need to prioritize. Let's choose judicial regions where there are so many family cases pending, and put them in the first tranche, then the others in the second tranche, third tranche, and fourth tranche. So we were able to secure approval of the Court and Bank, including the identification of the regions where these family courts will be organized. And finally, we were able to convince DBM and Congress to provide funds for these 4 tranches. So we have the first tranche in 2016 funded, and I believe the Judicial and Bar Council has already screened these 48 new family court judges, and they were appointed already, and the nominees were appointed by the President. We have 50 more funded for 2017, so we have funds for that already. So the screening of these family court judges is ready now. And for 2018, we have 39 more regular family courts slated for funding, and in 2019, 50 more family courts to be organized. So we have done this proposal to formally organize the regular family courts, and the momentum is already there. I don't think BBM will still back out because they already approved the first 2. So for sure, the 3rd and the 4th will also be approved. So even if I retire already, these family courts will be surely organized and funded by the DBM. I've also worked on many other things like the amendment of the rules on the involving children in conflict with the law, and my committee's recommendation for reforms in the rules pertaining to children in conflict with the law have already been approved, and we're working right now on some more amendment to the rules. Tomorrow until Saturday, we are having a write shop to be able to finalize some more of these rules, and I hope to be able to, after the write shop, I hope to be able to submit this to the Court and Bank for approval in the next weeks, 2 or 3 weeks, again before I retire. We're also in the right shop. We are also working on the review of the examination of child witness. So by Saturday, I hope we will be able to complete that. And one important thing that I'd like to do before I retire is to reorganize the Ethics and Ethical Standards Committee of the Supreme Court. During this Ethics and Ethical Standard Committee is included in the internal rules of the Supreme Court. And during the time of Chief Justice Corona, I was the working vice chair of that Ethics and Ethical Standards Committee. Justice Mendoza was one of the members of that committee, but after Chief Justice Corona, that committee was never organized again. So I'd like to do that. The first thing that I want to do is to organize that Ethics and Ethical Standards Committee, because that is the only way by which complaints against justices of the Supreme Court can be brought to the court for action. So I think that is a significant act that I would like to do right away.
Thank you, Justice Castro. You